giliran saya, Brenda Priscilla, selaku Master of Ceremony pada hari ini.
First of all, I would like to thank to Mr. Abdullah Sanusi, SE, MBA, PhD, as Director of Student and Alumni Affairs of Hasanuddin University.
Pertama-tama, kami mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Bapak Abdullah Sanusi, SE, MBA, PhD, selaku Direktur Kemahasiswaan dan Alumni Universitas Hasanuddin.
And Rector of Hasanuddin University, which represented by Prof. Dr. Armin MSI as our Dean of Social and Political Sciences, Hasanuddin University.
Dan kami juga mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Rektor Universitas Hasanuddin yang dalam hal ini diwakili oleh Dekan Fakultas Ilmu Sosial dan Ilmu Politik Universitas Hasanuddin.
And all lecturer of Social and Political Sciences of Hasanuddin University.
Serta seluruh dosen Fakultas Ilmu Sosial dan Ilmu Politik Universitas Hasanuddin.
And all participants for joining our international conference today.
Dan seluruh partisipan yang telah bergabung dalam konferensi internasional kami pada hari ini.
Our agenda for today will be started with the opening session by Director of Student and Alumni Affairs of Hasanuddin University and Rector of Hasanuddin University.
Agenda hari ini akan dimulai dengan opening session oleh Direktur Kemahasiswaan dan Alumni Universitas Hasanuddin dan Rektor Universitas Hasanuddin, dilanjutkan dengan keynote speaker oleh Rektor Universitas Hasanuddin.
Then, the next agenda is main session, which is speech from our invited speakers with the theme Social and Political Challenges and Impact of COVID-19. In this session, we will invite our speakers from University Utara Malaysia, University Sains Malaysia, and Taksin University for Thailand.
Kemudian, agenda selanjutnya adalah main session atau sesi utama dengan tema Social and Political Challenges and Impacts of COVID-19. Sesi ini akan dibawakan oleh para pemateri dari University Utara Malaysia, University Sains Malaysia, and Taksin University of Thailand.
After the main session, we will continue the agenda with parallel session. The committee will break into 3 rooms for student presenter to presenting their paper. Student non-presenters and all of the participants should join this session too.
Setelah main session atau sesi utama, agenda selanjutnya adalah parallel session atau sesi paralel. Panitia akan membagi menjadi 3 ruang virtual untuk student presenter mempresentasikan hasil papernya, dan bagi student non-presenter diwajibkan untuk mengikuti parallel session atau sesi paralel.
Before we start our first agenda, let me remind us about several things that all participants should do, like format name, keep turn on the camera, and keep turn off the audio.
Sebelum melangkah ke agenda pertama, diingatkan kembali kepada seluruh partisipan mengenai beberapa aturan yang harus diperhatikan kembali, seperti format nama, kamera dalam keadaan aktif, dan tetap menonaktifkan audio.
Without any further ado, I invite Mr. Abdullah Sanusi, SE, MBA, PhD, as Director of Hasanuddin University. For Mr. Abdullah Sanusi, SE, MBA, PhD, time is yours.
Untuk mengefisienkan waktu, kami persilahkan kepada Bapak Abdullah Sanusi, SE, MBA, PhD, selaku Direktur Kemahasiswaan dan Alumni Universitas Hasanuddin. Kepada Bapak, kami persilahkan dengan hormat.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good morning everyone. Selamat pagi semuanya. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor for me to deliver on behalf of Vice Rector Tri Universitas Hasanuddin at this very important forum. I would like to first congratulate the Dean of the Faculty of Social along with this organizing committee for holding this conference. It is particularly important for us since the topic and participants are very relevant in these circumstances. I trust that all the participants are enjoying the conference, even though given the situation, this conference is held virtually. I also would like to thank the lecturer and supervisor for supporting the organization of this seminar, and also would like to recognize the great efforts of the students from the Faculty of Social and Political Science who have worked very hard to prepare for this seminar and conceptualizing its substance. Ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic is disrupting every aspect of people's lives, and it is in unprecedented manner. While many of its implications, such as confinement-related psychological distress and social distancing measures, affect all society, different age groups experience this impact in distinct ways. With the gradual transition of government responses from immediate crisis management to the implementation of recovery measures, several concerns are emerging, such as increasing level of youth unemployment and the implication of rising debt for issues of intergenerational justice, as well as threat to the well-being of youth and future generation. Um, Young people in Asia and Indonesia particularly are already leading in critical domains, and for most of the times, they have shown enthusiasm to take political seriously. As the pandemic started, COVID-19 should energize the digital generation to assume greater meaningful roles in leadership and governance. Um, the most important political fact of our times is that our nation's young citizens are at home in larger numbers than ever before in the last century. They are widely connected to one another, and they are looking to make their voices heard. We have to make sure that their voices are heard. Ladies and gentlemen, dear participants, I do sincerely hope that our seminar today and tomorrow will provide us with useful insight about how students can make contribution, particularly highlighting how the youth can participate in dealing with social and political challenge and the impact of COVID-19. I do also hope that students from Universitas Hasanuddin can initiate the student network with other participants from other university and also from other countries, especially participants in this seminar, so that we have in the future they can make a robust discussion about how they can contribute to their society. Again, congratulations for the Dean of Faculty of Social and Political Science, along with his lecturer and supervisor. Thank you very much for your kind attention, and I do hope the seminar will be a great success. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Abdullah Sanusi, SE, MBA, PhD. Then, I invite Director of Hasanuddin University, also as our keynote speakers, which represented by Prof. Dr. Armin MSc as our Dean of Social and Political Sciences, Hasanuddin University.
Terima kasih kepada Bapak Abdullah Sanusi, SE, MBA, PhD. Dan selanjutnya kami undang kepada Rektor Universitas Hasanuddin selaku keynote speaker yang dalam hal ini diwakili oleh Profesor Dr. Armin MSI selaku Dekan Visip Universitas Hasanuddin. Kepada Bapak kami persilahkan dengan hormat.
Terima kasih. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Good morning, the Excellence Rector of Hasanuddin University, Profesor Dr. Dwi Aristina Pulubuhu, MA, Honorable Director for Student and Alumni Affairs, Hasanuddin University, Abdullah Sanusi, SE, MBA, PhD, the Honorable all of invite speaker who come from University Utara Malaysia, Taksin University, Thailand, University Science Malaysia, New York University, Uni Emirat Arab, University for Stranieri Perugia, Italy, Catholic University Leuven, Belgia, and of course from Hasanuddin University, Indonesia. The respectable all the delegation supervisor as well as all participants who presents today. First of all would praise gratitude to the Almighty God for blessing that allowed us so to gathering together to attend the Hasanuddin Student Global Conference in Social and Political Science 2020 that held online via Zoom meeting. Actually, this conference was originally planned to be carried out directly or offline, but due to the current COVID-19 pandemic condition, we decided to hold it online. This is part of our desire to get involved in effort to break the chain of potential spread of this virus. This is also in line with the conference theme, conference for that we are promotion today. Even though it is carried out online, but I hope it will still bring great benefit to all of us. Basically, this activity consists of 3-day program where starting on Sunday, November 22, and will running until 24 November 2020. At the first day, the activity was a workshop on writing scientific papers and publications. During that activity, two speakers who are from University Utara Malaysia and from Hasanuddin University had shared their experience and provide various tips to become as the good scientific paper writer. The activity is part of the overall event which shows our desire to be able to provide opportunities for students, not only for Hasanuddin University, but also students from everywhere who are involved to get various relevant and important knowledge, not only relate to their current status as a student, but also later when they have completed the education process at their respective universities. This activity is basically also as for effort of the Faculty of Social and Political Science, Hasanuddin University, to provide a space for larger students at the international level to be able to develop themselves and their knowledge related to social political field of study. In addition, this event is also certainly part of our faculty support for the Hasanuddin University policy toward a world-class university. Through this international conference, we strive to facilitate various results of research activities held by students or from various universities, where a few of them are from abroad. These papers have been selectively to be presented through the event. In addition, this activity was also attended by 100 participants who showed the great interest of students for various universities to join us in this event in order to encourage further students' involvement in the development of science, which the end will be able to provide benefits as efforts to answer various challenges faced by people and to improve the community life. Last but not least, I would like to welcome all participants and delegates from all universities who join today with us in Hasanuddin Student Global Conference and Social and Political Science 2020, were organized by the Faculty of Social and Political Science, Hasanuddin University. I hope we can enjoy and participate in this whole series of activities well and get the best benefit of it. Have a good conference and enjoy the knowledge transfer process through this activity. May God always bless us. On behalf of Rector of Hasanuddin University, I formally open this Hasanuddin Global Student Conference 2020. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Armin, MSE. Let's move to the next agenda. We will show the profile video of Hasanuddin University and profile video of Hasanuddin Global Student Conference.
Baik, terima kasih kepada Profesor Dr. Armin, MSI, dan mari kita melangkah ke agenda selanjutnya. Kami akan menampilkan video profile dari Universitas Hasanuddin dan video profile dari Hasanuddin Global Student Conference.
Selamat datang di Universitas Hasanuddin. Universitas Hasanuddin merupakan salah satu universitas terbaik di Indonesia. Ditunjang dengan fasilitas unggulan dan dukungan teknologi informasi yang modern, seperti dengan hadirnya e-library atau perpustakaan digital yang menyediakan berbagai literasi dan informasi secara digital dan online. Terdapat juga pusat pelatihan bahasa yang dapat membantu para mahasiswa mengembangkan kemampuan bahasa asing mereka. Kampus ini menjadi miniatur peradaban Indonesia dan dunia, tempat memahami toleransi keberagaman melalui interaksi antar budaya.
Dengan hadirnya mereka di sini, mereka bisa belajar tentang budaya kita. Begitu pula sebaliknya, kita bisa mengenal budaya bangsa lain yang ada di tengah-tengah kita.
Tidak hanya itu, Universitas Hasanuddin menyediakan fasilitas olahraga, seni, dan budaya yang diperuntukkan bagi mahasiswa dan juga masyarakat.
Di Unhas, kita tidak hanya bisa berprestasi dalam mata pelajaran, namun kita juga bisa berprestasi dalam cabang olahraga renang seperti hobi saya ini.
Dengan ini dinyatakan dibuka dan terbuka untuk umum. Untuk umum, hadirkan terdakwa.
Kalau di Fakultas Hukum, kita dituntut untuk bisa peka terhadap keadaan yang ada di sekitar kita, baik itu masalah kecil maupun dalam keseharian. Karakter inilah yang akan sangat berguna dan bermanfaat ketika kita lulus nantinya.
Sampai ketemu besok. Di sini kita dibiasakan praktek, sehingga nantinya kita nggak canggung lagi kalau langsung kerja di rumah sakit. UNAS pun punya rumah sakit sendiri loh, nggak sedikit alumni yang udah lulus kerja di sana.
Selain rumah sakit umum, Universitas Hasanuddin juga memiliki rumah sakit gigi dan mulut, di mana mahasiswa dari Fakultas Kedokteran Gigi juga bisa langsung praktik di sana. Dengan hadirnya Yusuf
Okay, sorry for the technical problem. Maybe we have to repeat the profile video of Hasanuddin University and profile video of Hasanuddin Global Student Conference.
Mohon maaf karena adanya kesalahan teknis, maka kami akan menampilkan ulang video profile dari Universitas Hasanuddin dan video profile dari Hasanuddin Global Student Conference. Selamat menyaksikan.
luar. Karena dengan fasilitas yang sebaik ini, Fakultas Teknik Unhas sudah dapat bersaing dengan fakultas teknik manapun di Indonesia.
Mendukung hilirisasi hasil penelitian, Teaching Industry hadir untuk menunjang Universitas Hasanuddin menjadi Academic Entrepreneurial Academy. Salah satu kegiatannya adalah pengolahan kakao menjadi coklat kemasan yang siap untuk dipasarkan. Center of Excellence terdapat di setiap fakultas sebagai wujud peran Universitas Hasanuddin untuk kemaslahatan bangsa melalui inovasi. Maiwa Breeding Center merupakan bagian dari program tersebut. Kegiatannya terdiri atas industri pembibitan sapi, produksi sapi straw Bali, industri penggemukan sapi, industri pemotongan sapi bersertifikat halal dari LPPOM MUI, industri bakso, dan industri pakan. Merespon berbagai tantangan kemanusiaan yang terjadi di Indonesia dan belahan dunia, Universitas Hasanuddin meneguhkan komitmen sebagai Humaniversity. Sivitas Akademika Universitas Hasanuddin akan selalu hadir bersama masyarakat sebagai bagian dari solusi persoalan bangsa. Sebagai lembaga pendidikan pun, Universitas Hasanuddin banyak memberikan program beasiswa bagi para korban yang terkena bencana alam dengan harapan mereka dapat memanfaatkan hasil pembelajaran tersebut kepada masyarakat luas.
Universitas Hasanuddin akan terus meningkatkan kualitasnya sebagai lembaga penghasil generasi bangsa yang cerdas dan berkarakter. Inovasi untuk peningkatan daya saing bangsa dan berbagai aksi pengabdian pada masyarakat. Masa depan yang baik harus diraih sejak kini.
Universitas Hasanuddin akan terus berpartisipasi dalam melahirkan generasi-generasi mendatang yang mampu bersaing, berprestasi, dan bermartabat. Bersama Universitas Hasanuddin, semua bisa meraih cita-cita.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kembali lagi dengan saya Novi Rizkanya di podcast Semai dengan Wakil Dekan Bidang Akademik, Riset dan Inovasi dari Fakultas Ilmu Sosial dan Ilmu Politik Universitas Hasanuddin. Langsung saja kita sambut, ini dia Bapak Sukri Tama. Oh ya, gimana nih Pak kabarnya?
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Nah, ngomong-ngomong nih Pak, katanya di Universitas Hasanuddin akan meluncurkan sebuah program baru nih Pak. Kalau boleh tahu program apa sih Pak?
Baik, Universitas Hasanuddin dalam hal ini Fakultas Ilmu Sosial dan Ilmu Politik Universitas Hasanuddin, Insya Allah dalam bulan November ini, tepatnya di tanggal 22 sampai 24 November 2020 akan meluncurkan sebuah program namanya HGSC atau Hasanuddin Student Global Conference on Social and Political Science 2020. Jadi insya Allah nanti program ini adalah program di mana mahasiswa-mahasiswa khususnya di tingkat sarjana atau bachelor itu akan diberikan ruang untuk berkonferensi, untuk menyampaikan ide-idenya, menyampaikan riset-riset yang mereka lakukan selama ini.
Nah, untuk acara Hasanuddin Global Student Conference ini sendiri, apakah ini tahun pertama atau sebelum-sebelumnya pernah dilakukan nih Pak?
Baik, ya ini adalah program pertama, tahun pertama dan direncanakan, insya Allah akan direncanakan selama dua kali setahun dalam, dua tahun sekali, artinya biannual ya, dia akan biannual.
Oh, jadi memang acara ini seperti apa sih Pak untuk persiapan menuju acaranya sendiri?
Baik, sampai sejauh ini memang persiapannya karena ini kira-kira tinggal seminggu lagi. Sebenarnya proses ini sudah dimulai sekitar 6 bulan yang lalu. mulai dengan promosi, kemudian membuka link untuk pendaftaran dan seterusnya, karena memang prosesnya kita meminta untuk para students, terutama yang sarjana dan bachelor ini, untuk memasukkan mulai abstrak, kemudian full paper yang nanti kemudian akan direview, dan setelah itu nanti kemudian akan dipilih mana tulisan-tulisan yang kemudian nanti akan dipresentasikan pada kegiatan itu.
Jadi memang untuk mahasiswa dan mahasiswi yang akan terlibat di dalam acara ini memang diseleksi dengan ketat ya Pak?
Ya, persis. Jadi yang kita tekankan memang adalah di mahasiswa sarjana yang di level bachelor, dan itu kita memang melakukan proses seleksi yang ketat, karena ini ada proses yang namanya blind review. Tulisan ini direview oleh reviewer yang memang sudah kita pilih, kemudian memenuhi standar, karena nanti insya Allah hasil tulisan ini akan kita terbitkan.
Untuk output sendiri atau keberlanjutan dari setelah mengikuti acara ini, apakah ada keberlanjutan Pak untuk mahasiswa dan mahasiswi yang telah mengikuti acara ini?
Ya, pada dasarnya kan sebenarnya kegiatan ini ada 3 hari, mulai tanggal 22 sampai 24. Sebenarnya ada kegiatan utama ya, 2 kegiatan utama. Di tanggal 22 insya Allah itu nanti kegiatannya adalah workshop penulisan tulisan ilmiah ya, atau karya tulis ilmiah, paper ilmiah. Nanti itu akan diisi oleh dua tutor, dua yang akan menyampaikan materi. Satu itu Dr. Azura Rahman dari UUM Universitas Utara Malaysia, dan satu lagi dari Dr. Andi Ahmad Yani dari Universitas Hasanuddin sendiri. Nah, dari kegiatan ini kita berharap nanti mahasiswa sudah punya keterampilan, kemampuan, kemudian untuk menuliskan paper ilmiah. Nah, tidak hanya untuk proses nanti dia di dalam proses menyelesaikan studi, tetapi juga dalam konteks penerbitan. Nah, untuk yang conference-nya di 23 dan 24 kita berharap mahasiswa punya ruang untuk mengekspresikan hasil penelitian, karena selama ini kita khawatir ada banyak sekali penelitian-penelitian yang baik yang sebenarnya potensial untuk dikembangkan, tetapi kemudian hanya tinggal menjadi laporan.
Yeah.
Dengan melalui ruang ini kita berikan ruang untuk go internasional, untuk melakukan diseminasi.
Oh ya, seperti itu Pak. Jadi memang untuk acara ini sendiri memang berskala internasional ya Pak ya?
Ya, itu makanya kita kasih kode global conference.
Global conference. Memang acara ini memang sangat amat dinanti juga, dan memang membuat kita mahasiswa dan mahasiswa Universitas Hasanuddin sendiri bisa memperlihatkan hasil karya kita di internasional.
Persis. Kita berharap ini menjadi ruang untuk melakukan internasionalisasi. Saya kira juga mendukung kebijakan universitas untuk menjadi world class university. Jadi kita berharap melalui Hasanuddin Global Student Conference ini nanti ini juga menjadi salah satu jalan untuk mendukung proses itu.
Oh ya, terima kasih Pak. Mungkin ada yang ingin disampaikan bagaimana sih tentang acara ini sendiri, bakal seperti apa sih saat proses konferensi itu terjadi?
Baik, nanti seperti yang tadi saya katakan tanggal 22 ada workshop. Nanti itu ada 2 pembicara yang akan menyampaikan materinya. Itu saya kira akan dilakukan siang hari, karena ini modelnya semuanya daring, karena kita masih dalam kondisi pandemi. Tentu saja kita selalu menjaga itu. Nanti akan ada 2 itu, kemudian di hari kedua dan ketiga itu di tanggal 23 dan 24 itu nanti ada satu main session yang insya Allah kalau nanti tidak ada halangan nanti Ibu Rektor sendiri yang akan membuka, dan Ibu Rektor akan menjadi keynote speak di situ. Di proses ini nanti akan ada plenary session, nanti akan ada 3 invited speaker yang akan bicara di sini, yang kemudian disusul parallel session. Di hari ketiga, di tanggal 24 juga akan sama, ada invited speaker yang akan bicara dan ada disambung dengan parallel session.
Oh ya Pak, jadi untuk acara ini sendiri, untuk kita mahasiswa dan mahasiswi, adakah yang ingin disampaikan kepada calon peserta atau peserta yang akan mengikuti acara ini?
Ya, sampai sejauh ini berdasarkan data dari panitia sudah ada lebih dari 300 mahasiswa yang akan ikut sebagai partisipan. Ada hampir 30 tulisan yang sudah diseleksi kemudian akan disampaikan. Kemudian juga selain itu kita juga membuka ruang seluas-luasnya kepada mahasiswa untuk dapat ikut, karena kan ini daring, silakan saja ada link, tentu saja harus proses pendaftaran karena ini kan nanti ada sertifikat dan seterusnya. Kemudian selain itu juga memang kita berharap selain mahasiswa di Unhas atau di Makassar pada khususnya, kita juga melakukan kontak dengan universitas lain, kelompok-kelompok mahasiswa yang lain, organisasi kemahasiswaan, termasuk organisasi kemahasiswaan di luar negeri.
Oh, jadi memang acara Hasanuddin Global Student Conference ini dibuka untuk umum?
Iya, betul sekali. Sejauh itu sarjana ya, ada di program sarjana, di program bachelor.
Oh, seperti itu Pak. Jadi saya tadi awalnya kira ini khusus untuk mahasiswa dan mahasiswa Hasanuddin sendiri gitu.
Tidak. Ya, jadi memang ini adalah bagian dari kegiatan internasional seperti yang saya bilang tadi. Makanya kemudian pembicaranya memang ada beberapa dari luar. Sebenarnya pembicaranya ada beberapa universitas nantinya. Saya tadi di hari kedua itu ada dari Universitas Turki, kemudian dari Italia dan Belgia nanti yang akan bicara di hari kedua.
Dan memang pesertanya kalau boleh tahu ada yang dari luar kota atau mungkin luar provinsi, Pak?
Ya, pesertanya justru tidak hanya di Makassar, luar kota, luar provinsi, dan luar negara. Jadi sejauh ini kita sudah ada sekitar 4 atau 5 negara yang sudah menyatakan ikut untuk mengirimkan delegasi dan akan bicara di konferensi ini.
Dan apakah masih dibuka pendaftarannya nih? Siapa tahu teman-teman semua yang mendengarkan podcast ini masih ingin mendaftar.
Iya, kami mohon maaf kalau untuk pendaftaran sebagai presenter itu sudah kami tutup. Sekarang sudah dalam proses reviewer dan sudah selesai saya kira proses di review untuk segera diterbitkan tulisannya. Tapi untuk peserta itu masih memungkinkan. Jadi kita masih membuka ruang seluas-luas untuk peserta mendapatkan informasi dari kegiatan ini.
Oh, jadi memang untuk teman-teman semua nih ya yang dengerin podcast ini masih bisa banget untuk daftar di Hasanuddin Global Student Conference.
Ya.
Dan di acara pertama ini pastinya sangat seru ya, Pak?
Ya, kita tunggu teman-teman mau berpartisipasi ya bersama-sama di proses ini.
Dan semoga juga untuk acara yang pertama kali ini dapat berkelanjutan lagi untuk tahun-tahun selanjutnya.
Ya, insya Allah. Amin.
Mungkin itu saja spesial bincang-bincang kita di podcast kali ini. Terima kasih untuk Pak Sukritama atas informasi yang sangat bermanfaatnya. Semoga acara yang berjalan dengan baik juga dan lancar.
Amin.
Dan pastinya kita tunggu teman-teman untuk daftar lagi di Hasanuddin Global Student ini. Saya Novi Rizkania, sekian dari saya. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the main session of Hasanuddin Global Student Conference on Social and Political Science HGSC 2020. Thank you, Ms. Brenda and Ms. Nurul Atifa, for the opportunity that has been given to me. My name is Chantika Salsabila. Will be served as your moderator today. First of all, I would like to thank all the invited speakers, Ms. Nur Afifa from University of Utara Malaysia, Ms. Kirubasani from University of Science Malaysia, also Mr. Tinadet Duangswa, and Mr. Jerapat Nuro from Taksin University of Thailand for joining us today in international conference. Before we proceed to the main agenda, I would like to inform you regarding the rules of today's main session. First, for audiences, please remain silent or make sure to mute your mic so it will not bother the speakers nor the other audiences. Second, if there's any questions you would like to ask the speakers, you may send your question in the chat box. You may send them in Bahasa, but preferably in English while the speakers giving their speech. The Q&A sessions will be held after all the speakers conduct their presentation, and 2 questions limit for each speaker. Third of all, the speaker will present their presentation approximately 20 to 30 minutes, as I, as moderator, will notify the speaker if the given time is about to end. Lastly, after this main session, there will be parallel session that is obligatory for participants to join in. Without any further ado, I invite Ms. Nur Afifa from University of Utara Malaysia to present her speech. Time is yours.
Hello, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible.
Hello. Okay, I'm assuming you guys can hear me.
Yes, Ms. Nur Afifa, you are clear. and audible.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to Hasanuddin University, to my supervisors from University Utara Malaysia, UUM. Good morning to other speakers and participants. Okay, first of all, I would like to express my gratitude. Thank you to my principal, Puan Azura, and assistant principals from Bank Rakyat Residential Halls in UUM for giving me this opportunity. And thank you to Hasanuddin University for providing me this platform to share my presentation today. Okay, my name is Nur Afifah binti Muhammad Kamal. I was born and raised here in this northern region of Malaysia. I am currently in my second year studying for a bachelor degree of business administration. And befitting with the theme today, I am also a member of student leadership and development committee for my Bank Rakyat Residential Hall. I was a resident assistant for a year, and now I am a secretary for my second year. Okay, so before we begin, I would like to share and take a little 1 minute or two to share a short video. I will share my screen.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat datang. Kami daripada pelajar Universiti UUM mengucapkan ribuan terima kasih kepada penaja dan pemberi sumbangan penyumbang yang telah memberikan sedikit tapi pasti berbanyaklah keperluan kepada kami semua student yang tak banyak tertampung. Assalamualaikum. Untuk makanan. Betul, sedih je dah bilik. Saya sama dengan tu. Dia sikit kat mana dapat bos? Dapat abu. Kami selamat kat sini. Kitchen. Ya, lagi dah. So, hashtag kami selamat.
Okay. Okay, even though it's in Malay, I hope that everyone can see. This is an example of what we do here. What you have just seen is just a little bit, a snippet or perspective from Students Association and your role. And today I would like to call them the Student Avengers in the mid of crisis, where they come together to help the students during the pandemic. I will share my presentation, my PowerPoint. Okay, so when we say the word frontliners, it is a worldwide recognition that these people are the policemen, the doctors, the nurses, everyone that is involved in fighting the pandemic. So when I say everyone, wouldn't student representatives deserve to be a part of this too? Not as significant, but the roles they play in their university is just as important. Okay, so here in UUM on March 18, 8 months ago, the first movement control order are placed by the government of Malaysia. Some of the students have known about this the day before and some don't. And a lot who does grab this opportunity on the 17th to pack up everything and go home. There are also students that cannot go home yet because there are still things and works that they wanted to do, so they stay. And little did they know that the stay is going to be expensive. So this is the point where the students are stranded in campus. There are police surrounding the campus every day, the gates are closed, and there are the social distancing rules. You simply cannot get caught being outside. I was one of the students that are stranded in campus when the MCO started, and I was stranded for 30 to 40 days. I don't remember the exact dates. It was okay the first few weeks. The students are still okay and adapting to the situation. The classes all changed to online. All of us started using Cisco WebEx. The real issue started when the situation prolongs. There aren't any necessity for the students to go outside, but for the students to be cooped up in their room for so long has started to take toll on them. There are limitations to where they can go and what they can do. The students are getting more anxious and depressed the longer they have to stay inside. And the MCO prolonged until Ramadan that starts on 24th of April where you have to fast. This is a perfect storm with imperfect leadership. In a time of crisis, leaders must act swiftly and with foresight, but also with careful consideration of options, consequences, and side effects of actions taken. I feel like this quote resonates with today's topic because when the pandemic first hit, we don't know that was going to happen. Maybe we do have a plan on national level. It's not the first time we have an infectious virus going around. But for COVID-19 to impact us this much, it is so vital to decide on actions that will not agitate the people. These decisions and actions have to give them a sense of security so that there will be no there will be not be a total chaos. So on university level, this is where student leaders, the student avengers, I like to call them, chime in with the university management on what needs to be done and help them smooth the process. Next, I will share some more examples and not just from my university. Here we have our Student Representative Council or Majelis Perwakilan Pelajar, the MPP. They plays an important role in helping the university management keep the stranded students in check. They're active in social media, the easiest platform for us students to get notifications on what is going on. They're the ones who helps disseminate the info on current situations, what the university is planning, if the bus will be running, and when the students will be allowed to go home. The picture you are seeing right now is the MPP making an awareness campaign to help educate other students on what is this pandemic, how it happened, how to prevent, and how important it is to adhere to the standard operating procedures. Next, in UUM, there are 15 different residential halls and each have their own respective student leadership and development committee members. I was one of them. Okay. We help to count all the students that are left stranded and we visit them every few days to check up on them. This is important so that we can know and detect if they have any certain allergies, where they cannot eat certain food, because at this point we are starting to receive help from the outside and the government have also provided funds to feed the stranded students. The checkup is also important so that we can know that the students are okay in their rooms. The JKPS look for and volunteer for this food packing process. They also have the students check their names when they come to the cafe to take the food so that we can make sure everyone is eating. So JKPS also come up with activities for the students to de-stress and relax, such as podcasting, Al-Quran reading every day, Zumba, indoor games, and so much more. And for disclaimer, every activities that we did is after the 14 days quarantine mark and we were inside the whole time, so the risk of infection is low. The MPP and JKPS also plays an important role when it comes to sending the students home. This includes helping them complete the paperwork needed because at that time, students are required to have traveling documents before crossing the district. Next is from UMP, University Malaysia Pahang. A total of 50 students, including the president of the Students Representative Council, volunteered in managing the welfare and the safety of students. They also help coordinate the process of sending student homes systematically. The roles of volunteers included collecting and compiling the data of on and off the campus. Meanwhile, USM, University Science Malaysia, have released a document on the guidelines and action plans in response to this COVID. This document is part of a series of initiatives by the USM community, from the staff and volunteer workers manning the USM COVID-19 Nurse Center to the ones by students, especially the USM Student Representative Council, in collectively handling the impacts of COVID-19. These include providing food for those outside of the campus, providing e-counseling sessions, and organizing various activities for students to do in their respective dormitories for distress and timeout moments. Next, we have University of Malaya Association of New Youth President Yap Wenching said most students have adapted to the use of e-learning during this MCO and generally doing fine, except during the earlier periods when they were familiarizing themselves with the systems and means of communication. However, some students asserted their struggle over the e-learning mode due to stress, as lecturers tend to give a little bit more assignment in e-learning mode. He noted that some students have suggested using a grading system of pass and fail for that semester for those who are unable to keep up with their studies. He also agreed with Singapore's Nanyang Technological University (NTU) and Singapore Management University (SMU) grading implementation system, which provides the student with opportunity to choose the preferred grading system so that students have a little bit of freedom to study according to their pace and prevent from extending semesters. Or something so that they can get the equipment needed for online learning. He also suggested to the university that they should establish a platform to inform students of every policy changes from the government because this is a confusing time. So there is a lot of changes that is happening. So it is important that the students are getting all the information that they need to know. We also have the Gabungan Mahasiswa Islam Malaysia, GAMIS. They suggested several solutions to be considered by the management of both public and private universities, including the refund of accommodation fees by 50% or prorated to the number of weeks that the student had used the accommodation services. Gomez also suggested that universities review the overall fees imposed on students by keeping tuition fee rates but reducing the fee for facilities because most students will not be on campus to use the facilities. And lastly, we have from MSU College Shah Alam, the Student Representative Council decided to help by raising awareness among their peers, coordinated between MSUC Shah Alam Student Development Unit, clubs and association, and Student Representative Council. Their Let's Fight COVID-19 campaign was mobilized under strict observance of the Movement Control Order, the MCO. Staying put where they are, whether at home with family or with other MSUians or at MSU's the residents or other student accommodations in and around Shah Alam Section 13, they each took to social media to spread their message. The Student Representative Council from MSU said that this is one of the ways we can support the government's effort in curbing the coronavirus spread and thank all the medical frontliners out there fighting the pandemic. There is a lot more similar actions by other university students representative council, proving that they are a major piece in making the university's management plan for this pandemic successful. As conclusion, they deserve to be called the student avengers in helping other students go through this pandemic. I hope that everyone can understand that students also have their contribution in fighting this pandemic. And that is all for my presentation today. Thank you for listening, and thank you again for giving me this opportunity. That is all for me. Thank you. Can go back to the moderator. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Nur Afifa, for your speech. Miss Nur Afifa speech. Ms. Nur Afifa's speech mainly talked about contributions of Malaysian students, especially University of Utara Malaysia students, to society in the middle of COVID-19 pandemic. As presented by the speaker, the contributions of the Malaysian students are such like educating them about COVID-19 and also giving them food and so on and so forth. I really hope this can motivate all participants to do the same as Utara Malaysian students. And now it is time to invite the next speaker, Ms. Kiru Basani from University of Science Malaysia, to deliver her speech. Time is yours.
Hello, can you hear me? Yes, you are audible. Hi, good morning everyone. Hope everyone is fine during this pandemic. Thank you for giving me such a great opportunity to share my knowledge. Before I start my presentation, I would like to share some video with you.
which houses tools such as Hoaxy that lets anyone trace the path of a rumor or hashtag as it spreads on Twitter. Another awesome tool, Botometer, lets you see if your new friend is a fake, a bot, or real. Using what they had learned on real social networks, the researchers then created their own simulated social network where they could control the flow of information. It's a bit like how meteorologists predict the weather, but rather than testing how winds or temperatures affect weather patterns, they tested different user ratios and information types. Fill up your simulated social network with a small amount of true and false information, and your simulated users will share the truth. Mostly. But load up that system with noise, and your simulated social media users get stressed out. They start to share information indiscriminately, so false information can go viral as well. That's especially true if you've got a bunch of loud-mouthed bots, which are automated accounts not run by people, drowning out everyone else. The lesson? Information overload makes you share junk. So what can you do? Think before you click. Read the story, not the headline. If it sounds unbelievable, Google it. And don't just follow people who already agree with you. Also, share this video, honestly.
I'm really sorry we had technical glitch. I'm Kirubasani Nadarajan from University Science Malaysia, currently doing degrees in Bachelor of Communication, majoring in journalism and minoring in psychology. Today I would like to talk about infodemic. This is because I think that infodemic can be spread as fast than a pandemic. Let me share my screen with you. Okay. What is infodemic? Infodemic is an abundance of data, some satisfied and some not, where it will make difficult for individuals to find trustworthy source and reliable guidance. This situation happens when they find reliable information. A significant rise in the amount of knowledge associated with a particular subject, for example, misinformation and misinformation, along with rumors, the surface on the scene. Secondly, knowledge exploitation with dubious.
Mengganggu waktu Bapak saya sebentar, Teh. Ingin mengambil itu.
Hello. I can say as infodemic is a knowledge exploitation with dubious intent. This phenomena is intensified by social networks in the information age, spreading further and faster like a virus. There are two types of infodemic, which is rumors, which was the most prevalent of all of the type of infodemic. Secondly, I conclude that type of infodemic is conspiracy theories or myth. Theories has been circulated in China, Iran, Russia, the United Kingdom, and the United States. Just because of rumors can be spread like a virus, I think that we need to curb that. We can help people to curb the infodemic by a few steps. First and foremost, we need to trust the World Health Organization because they can give the perfect information about the issues. Secondly, we need to identify evidence, avoid fake news, support open science, determine if the information really adds up, even if it's from a secure source and has been shared before. We need to report.
Ms. Kirubasani?
Yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. Can you set your PowerPoint to slideshow?
Oh, okay. I'm really sorry.
Thank you.
Okay. Then we need to report the harmful rumors which is spreading. Then we need to protect privacy. Better we not to share if you can confirm the information. Confirm the information being shared before by other people. Participate responsibly in social conversation. Continue collaboration share information, confirm the source, in particular the thread on WhatsApp. If the information is not confirmed, better do not share it. And we need to keep learning. As a conclusion, me and my teammates conclude that rumors and conspiracy theories have the ability to undermine community trust. This is because rumors may discuss themselves as reliable methods for the prevention. We need to control infections and have potentially several consequences if prioritized. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kirubasani. Ms. Kirubasani mainly talked about the infodemic, which is trustworthy information regarding pandemic and how this infodemic can be accessed in the social media. And also Ms. Kirubasani shares about how to prevent false rumors in this during this pandemic. And if the audience have questions regarding what Ms. Kirubasani has said, you can ask in the chat box. Also for thank you, Ms. Kirubasani, for your insightful speech. Next, I call the last two speakers, Mr. Tinadet Duangswa and Mr. Jirapat Nurot from Taksin University of Thailand. Time is all yours.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
Morning.
Can
Good morning.
Yes, greeting from Thailand.
Sawadika.
Sawadee So I'm Tuan Thong Krutjon. You can call me Dennis. I'm lecturers in public administrations, the faculties of humanities and social science, Taksin University. Today we have a guest speakers, two students from public administration programs. I would like to introduce them. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mr. Tinadet Duangswan. I'm a freshman in the Faculty of Humanities and Social Sciences, Department of Public Administration, Taksin University, Thailand. Today, we should talk about new public service for new normal era in Thailand. The new public service is recently developed during for 21st century citizens focused public administration. It focuses on democratic governance and reimagining the accountability of public administrators towards citizens. NPS places that administrators should be a broker between citizens and their government, focusing on citizens' engagement in political and administrative issues. Administrators will also connect the relationships to citizens and government, but must focus on citizens because citizens is important. Divided into three levels, which are central, regional, and local, consists of Central Bureau, consists of ministries, Prime Minister Office, departments, agency. Public service focus on citizens. Regional Bureau consists of province, districts, sub-districts, village. Local bureau or local government consists of provincial administrative organizations, municipalities, sub-district administrative organization, Bangkok, metropolitan administration, and Pattaya City. The next topic is coronavirus disease. Significant factor for organizing public service, role of Royal Thai government. This is a paragraph showing the number of COVID-19 infections in Thailand. We'll see that the graph has decreased significantly. During March, the number of infection cases skyrocketed. Case overview in Thailand summarized as follows. There are a total of 3,913 infected people in Thailand and recover all 3,761 and deaths 60 people in Thailand. Let's hear start the next topic from Jirapat Nurot.
Hello, my name is Jirapat Nurot. Today I come to talk about coronavirus disease administration in Thailand. Role of public administration, central administration, regional administration, and local administration. Central administration. Royal Thai government organizes the Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration. It is the centralized organization to manage the crisis situation covering public health, public relations, and public service in Thailand. Moreover, Royal Thai government announces the strictly regulation for regional and local administration. Regional administration. All province and district in Thailand have to duplicate the Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration to be the subunit. All province and district in Thailand have to implement the strictly rule of Royal Thai government and also CCSA. Regional administration. For the crisis period, all province and district in Thailand have to lock down their areas, stop all public activity, school, university, department stores, allow selling fresh food only. Additionally, limited working time to all citizens is the important rule of the Thai regional organization in the crisis time. Local administration. Thai local government have to duplicate the Center for COVID-19 Situation Administration to be the sub-unit as front office of Royal Thai government.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
They have to implement all strictly rules of Royal Thai government and also CCSA according to the crisis time. They should service the basic information and provision the food facility and services for the citizen. Public healthcare in Thailand is running from the bottom line to the top line administration. The bottom line that presenting as the key success factor is the health volunteer is each local government in Thailand. The crucial top line is the medical doctor and nurse in our hospital in Thailand. Procedure of the health volunteer practice. The important role of volunteer consisting of the checkup process, the health promotion process, and the health welfare for disease treatment process that relate to the policy and plan of the local government. How to protect yourself from COVID. 1. Wearing a face mask. 2. Avoid touching your eye, nose, or mouth with unwashed hand. 3. Avoid high-risk area. 4. Washing hands, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer if soap and water are not available. 5. Eating hot food. 6. Staying home when you are sick. From day one until nowadays, Director General of WHO commended Thailand's efforts and experience in curbing COVID-19 at the World Health Assembly. He also asked our country to follow Thailand on this issue. Thailand's success in curbing COVID-19 is the result of actions based on evidence-based decision-making, strong health system, and the cooperation of our sector in Thai society. Thank you.
Thank you very much for all the participants from Universitas Hasanuddin, University Uttara Malaysia, University Science Malaysia. I think today we just share the experience of COVID-19 in Thailand and how to we run for the successful. I think this is one of example for other country, especially in ASEAN. I think so. We have the same method to treatment or to take care ourselves, and additionally in Thailand we have a special method that Mr. Thinapat present to you. We have the volunteers in the rural area that depend on the local government. That's why we success case in the rural area, because of we can stop the spreadings of coronavirus in the rural area, and then it can control all the country. This is a successful case in Thailand that we would like to share you. We work hard to keep more information from the rural area and urban area and make it decisions and try to work together between the governments and the citizens and the governors and the administrator try to be the broker linked between the governments and the citizen together. I think this is a Thai society nowadays. That is why we would like to claim that we success in the case of stop even the situation is still go on, I think. So we would like to share together how to protect and how to go together in ASEAN. Thank you very much, and hope you enjoy and hope you so well in your hometowns. And if you have any question, please give in the box, because of nowadays in Thailand it's so heavy rain. I think the signal is not good. So if it's possible, please give the questions in the box of the Zoom's program, that after that we will reply you and talk together later. Thank you and say goodbye.
And Mr. Jirapat from Taksin University of Thailand for your speech. Their speech is mainly talk about new public service for normal in Thailand. which is recently developed in for the first 21st century citizen-focused public administration. And also the speakers already show us about the statistics of COVID-19 cases in Thailand, and also about how the government handling the pandemic and how the government of Thailand have a special method to handling the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, so thank you for all the invited speakers. Now it is time to start the Q&A session. The audience may send their question in chat box, and you may use the raise hand feature on Zoom and open mic and directly ask the speaker about your questions. If there's any questions regarding the presentation that has been presented by the speakers, you may use raise hand feature on Zoom and open mic and directly ask the speakers to ask your questions, or simply just send your questions in the chat box. Thank you. Hanun Hanifa, you may ask your questions directly in open mic.
Thank you, Mr. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the name from the speakers from Taksin University, but thank you for the insightful speech. I want to know that is there any role of the local society that in terms of, you already mentioned that local government plays a big role when it comes to health promotion, and I want to know, is there any collaboration between the local government and the local citizen when it comes to promoting health issues during COVID-19? Thank you.
Okay, speakers from Taksin University may answer the questions now.
Excuse me again, please, because of the signals is not good.
Speakers from Taksin University, are you here? Do you hear me clearly right now?
The signal is not clear. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, please ask me again, please.
The Ms. Hanun Hanifa asked about, is there any collaboration between local government and local citizens regarding handling the COVID-19 pandemic?
Oh, yes. The citizens in the rural area and in the urban areas need to make collaboration with the government, because of they have to report the situation in their homes to the government. The step one, they have to report to the local government, and then the local government have to report to the central government. That is why we try to show you how new public service link together, because of the administrator in local area have to link between citizens and the government. And the important thing it is evidence or information. We have to report in the real things. If you were sick, you have to report you were sick. How many people in the family were sick, and what happened in your family, and then we have to report all information to the centralized unit that I show you, CCS. Yes, this is a important unit for report the numbers that occur in Thailand. Thank you.
Thank you. Hope that answers the questions coming from Hanun Hanifa. Also, next, I allow Safwan Mufadal to open mic and ask the questions directly to the speaker. Safwan Mufadal, are you here?
Adem.
Am I audible?
You are audible.
Okay, thank you. I'm Muhammad Safwan Fadal, and I'm from Hasanuddin University as a liaison officer. Outbreak, your handling about pandemic outbreak is become one of the best example of handling pandemic outbreak in Southeast Asia. But right now, as we know that there's a demonstration now between the pro-monarchy activists and contra the monarchy activists in Thailand right now. I want to ask how the government handle this. I mean, as we know that there's no social distancing in demonstration right now, okay? So yeah, I want to ask about how the government handle this kind of demonstration in order to break out the COVID outbreak in Thailand right now. Thank you.
The speakers from Taksin University, can you hear the question clearly?
Hello. I think can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. So I think the signal is not good because a little bit. I think it's quite a little bit not clear. So I would like to remind that how the government. I would like to answer like this: how Thai government's success case for to protect or to take care the citizens far away from COVID-19 nowadays. I think we have two strong. The first one is we have the centralized unit or centralized organization that control all the situation in Thailand, and we duplicate the centralized organization that we established to the to all the level, the regional levels and the local level. We have to duplicate and run the procedure like the central government. And the second thing is the strictly law of Thailand or strictly regulation. We have we would like to say it's so heavy rules in Thailand, and you cannot allow do many things in the, in the crisis period when we stop at home, especially the business sector have to stop. Most of the department store in Thailand have to stop. Everything have to stop, and then the situation will increase. It's better. I think because of the collaboration between business sector, government sector, and also the people sector, we have to run together. And one thing that I would like to remind you, because of we have to believe the government when they promote or they encourage us to do something like you have to put the mats, you have to clean, you have to take a shower, everything you have to follow. Especially in Thailand, we have a lot of the peoples in the rural area. We have to follow. When we can stop the situation in the rural area, its effect to the city because of the big people live in the rural area. When the rural area can stop, the city can stop also. That is why it's not like volcano. It's just a little bit effect to the people in our country. I think the best thing we have to cooperate between the government, the business, and also the people sector. We have to. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Answering this question. It's been such an insightful knowledge you gave us today. Thank you.
And I think we will see you and can share you at the real life next year. I think we would like to share you many things in our situations, and I think next year in Thailand we will open the country to invite all the tourists come to Thailand again. Now we are planning, okay? And welcome to Thailand when we open our country.
I'm looking forward for it. Thank you.
To recall the topics of the speakers, Ms. Nur Afifa from Utara Malaysia University has talked about students' contributions in the towards the society in the middle of COVID-19, and also Ms. Kirobasani from Science Malaysia University has talked about infodemics, which is information regarding the pandemic, and also lastly Mr. Tinadet and Mr. Jirapat from Taksin University Thailand has talked about how government of Thailand handling the COVID-19, and I hope that all the audiences can share the questions towards all the speakers. Next, I want to allow Muhammad Fajriyadi to open mic and ask directly the question to the speaker.
Okay, thank you that the floor given to me. Let me introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Fajriyadi Askera, one of students in International Relations Department. So actually, I would like to ask, my question is about education system in Thailand and Malaysia during this pandemic. Is it the same policy as Indonesia to run long distance learning during the pandemic, or any other policy that Malaysia or Thailand run in the country? Thank you.
Okay, so the question is asked towards all the speakers from Thailand and speakers from Malaysia, regarding about the education method or the education system in Malaysia and Thailand during the pandemic. Is it the same with Indonesia, who is conduct the online learning, or is it different? The speaker from Malaysia can speak first.
Hello, hi. Thank you, Muhammad Fadriyadi, for the question. Okay, so in Malaysia, most of the students are now studying online, but there are certain courses that involves the use of studio or the lab for science students. So these students are given they are allowed to use the studios and the lab at their respective universities. But for the rest of us, we are all studying online. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Nur Afifa, for your answer. Is there any additional answer that Ms. Kirubasani want to provide us?
Okay. I think in my university we are also conducting the online studies. We are same like Ms. Nur Afifa's university. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Kirubasani. And now I call Mr. Tinadet and Mr. Jerapat to answer the question.
We are studying online also.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Tinadet and Mr. Jerapat, for your answer. So the conclusion is Thailand and Malaysia have the same education method or learning method, just like Indonesia, who conduct online learning, and also they go to studio, for example, just like Malaysia speaker said, Miss Nur Afifa. If there's any learning that requires studio, lab, and etc., then they will conduct offline learning. And also, next question is from Suci Lestari. The question is directed towards the Thailand speakers. What are the next steps that Thailand will take to restore its economic stability after the COVID-19 pandemic? Thank you.
The economic step, right? The economic issue, right?
Yes.
Okay. The next step for our economics, now we prepare for open the country, especially the big budget Thailand from the tourism. That is why we have to plan and prepare for the tourism sector, for the first sectors. And the second sectors that we have to prepare, it is public health. We try to run for the application to make sure the tourists, when they enter to Thailand, they have to safety from the COVID-19. That is why we try to produce a lot of the techniques and equipment, especially medical equipment, to take care the tourists who need to enter to Thailand. That is why for economic part, now today we prepare the tourism sector, and especially we try to promote the CBT, the communities-based tourism, more than the nightlife tourism like 10 years ago. Because of the community-based tourism can be safe for all the tourists because of its open air, it's located in the rural areas and no more people in the same area, something like that. This is our economics futures that we have to prepare, and also we have to develop the programs for the school also, because of we try to control the situation for the school. And the last thing that we try to run, this is the vaccine, you know. We try to produce the vaccine, the cooperation between Thai Royal Government and Oxford University to produce the vaccine for the people in Thailand. And then if we are success, we can distribute to the other country in ASEAN also. This is our plan. Thank you.
Thank you so much, speaker from Thaksin University, for answering the questions. So basically, Thailand rely on tourism to restore its economic stability, but still encourage all the tourists to follow the health protocol, such like social distancing, wear mask, and washing hands, of course. Next, I allow Teresia Harlita Bauli to open mic and ask the question to the speaker.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Teresia, and you can call me Echa. I'm from Hasanuddin University. So I would like to ask to Mr. Tinadet, Sawadika. So my question is about the responses of the Thai people regarding of the policy that have been taken from the Thai government itself. What are the responses of the Thai people regarding of the COVID-19 pandemic and the policies that have been taken by the that have been taken by the Thai government itself? Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Tinadet may answer the question.
Excuse me, Miss, I need your question again because of the signal is not stable when you give your question, please.
Okay, so my question is, what are the responses of the Thai people regarding of the policies that have been taken by the Thai governments before? Thank you.
When Royal Thai government announced the strict rules or the strict law, we have to respond strictly also. We cannot escape to the law or the rules of the government because of we have to awareness the strict rule because of it's useful for us. All the people have to walk in the same line. When the government said this is the road for our safety, the people in Thailand have to go because of we awareness the participations and we awareness about the safety. When you have any problems, such as when you were sick, you have to report to the government, you have to report to the hospital, and you have to you have to take a note when you go out from your home. You have to take note where did you go. So this is the basically things that you have to do. That in Thailand we have to do together between the government and the citizen. That is why we try to respond to the strict rules that announced or informed by the government. Yep, this is our way. And nowadays, we still keep some method and strictly something, such as in the university, we are not allowed all the students came to the university. Some students still stay at home and online learning, but only few students can came to this university because of they have to study in the laboratories, they have to practice like the fine arts departments, they have to practice. And also in the school, nowadays we provide the online system for the school, and the school have to run the technologies and methods online also. This is our way nowadays. And I think in the future we can share many things together in the ASEANs, how to protect and how to learn about the COVID-19. I think. Thank you.
Thank you, speakers from Taksin University, for answering the question. So the conclusion is the response of the people of Thailand regarding the Thailand government's policies about the COVID-19 is pretty good, because the people of Thailand themselves really care about safety and really care about their health. So even though the Thailand government policies are strict, the people of Thailand are willing to follow the rules from the government. So next is Arham Putra from Unhas. I allow you to open mic and ask the question.
Okay. Report. Let me introduce myself. I am Muhammad Anam Putra from the Political Science Department from Unhas. Regarding India, I would like to ask how the large population in India can strive hard so that its citizens can comply with the policies implemented by the government, where the addition of cases and India will continue to increase and can also surpass and cases in America. Thanks.
Mr. Arham, can you repeat your question?
Okay, Tess. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Regarding India, I would like to ask how the large population in India can strive hard to that its citizens and can comply with the policies implemented by the government, where the addition of cases in India will continue to increase and can also surpass the cases in America. Thanks.
Sorry, I think there's misinformation. The speaker is from Thailand and Malaysia, so the policies regarding India is not included in our international conference right now.
It's regarding India.
Okay, sorry, Mr. Arham, we cannot answer your questions because there is no representative from India to answer your question. B, you can ask speaker from Malaysia regarding the policies, Malaysia education system there, or health protocol in Malaysia.
In India, in India. Can I repeat again? Can I repeat?
Yes, you can repeat your questions, but please make it direct to the speakers from Malaysia or Thailand because we have no representative from India.
India? Can
From Malaysia and Thailand.
okay from Thailand.
The speakers are from Malaysia and Thailand. We have no representative or speaker from India, so we cannot answer your question. Maybe you can ask speaker from Malaysia regarding their policies or their health protocol, their education system.
Okay, for I ask for Malaysia. I would like to ask how the large population can comply with the policies implemented by the government where the addition of cases will continue to increase and can also suppress the cases in America.
Miss Nur Afifa and Miss Kirubasani, you may answer the question.
Mr. Arham Putra, can you type your question in the chat box? Because I cannot understand your question.
Okay. The problem is government. I would like to ask how the large population in India can strive hard to that its citizens can comply with the policies implemented by the government where the addition of cases in India will continue to increase and can also surpass the cases in America. Can you understand?
Okay, so I make it clear. The question is Mr. Arham as Malaysia speakers about what is the response from society, from the people of Malaysia to not to help not increase the COVID cases in Malaysia. What the contributions coming from the people of Malaysia to not increase the COVID-19 cases?
Okay. I'm sorry, Mr. Arham. I don't know anything about the India and the case system, but in Malaysia, we like all the other countries. We have the social distancing rules, the mask rules. It is compulsory for you to wear your mask wherever you go outside, and so the society, like any other, there are people who are understanding, who follows this rule, and there are also who don't want to follow this rule. So but as a whole, we are doing a great job following the SOPs and everything. It's just that this right now we are in the third wave, so I hope that whatever happens in the future, we can get through this and flatten the curve. Thank you.
Miss Kirubasani from Malaysia, is there anything you want to add?
Yes, I would like to add something. We still adhered to the rules as we are worried about the punishment if we disobey the SOP.
Miss Kirubasani?
Oh yeah. Sorry, my internet is not too stable. Okay, my answer for this question is we are following lockdown rules strictly. Though it is tough, we still evidence to the rules as we are worried about the punishment if we disobey SOP. That's all.
Thank you so much, Ms. Kirbasani, for answering the question. Is there any audiences want to ask more questions? Just to recall, Ms. Nur Afifa talked about the student contribution towards the society in the middle of COVID-19. Ms. Kirbasani talked about infodemic or informations regarding the pandemic. And also the speakers from Taksin University talk about Thailand government in handling the COVID-19 pandemic. Just in case there's any questions, please open your mic and directly ask the speaker. Okay, I allow Keisha from Undip to open mic and answer and ask the question.
Okay. Thank you for the insightful presentations. I would like to ask a question for the panelists from both the country delegates. The question is what possibilities that would be happen if the political and democratic situations were unsustainable due to the recovery of the COVID-19? Thank you.
Can you repeat your questions?
Okay. Am I audible?
You are loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. I would like to ask the questions from the panelists from both of the countries delegate. The question is what possibilities that would be happen if the political and democratic situations were unsustainable due to the recovery of the COVID-19 pandemics? Thank you.
Miss and Mr. Speakers from both Malaysia and Thailand can answer the question.
Can you repeat the question but slower?
Can you repeat your questions but slower?
Sorry, should I repeat my questions?
But a little bit slower because the speaker has difficulties to understand your question.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, I would like to repeat it again. So the question is, what possibilities that would be happen if the political and democratic situations were unsustainable due to the recovery of the COVID-19 pandemics? Thank you.
Okay. So about the politics, yeah. And how if it's unstable and how it will affect the pandemic. Okay. Recently we have the elections in Sabah, and that is the cause for our third wave right now. So I think that the more unstable the government, the politics is, the harder it is for us uh, to get through this pandemic. And if this prolongs, we will be seeing more lockdowns and more movement control orders. I hope that answers the question.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Now I call Mr. Tinadet and Mr. Jirapat to answer the question. Mr. Tinadet
Okay.
and Mr. Jirapat.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
However, I wish you that accepting, understanding, and adapting to life safely, or political, adapting to life, our daily and our self. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker from Taksin University, for answer the questions. Hope that all the answers from these Q&A sessions can help you in the future or will benefit you all in the upcoming future. Okay, so that was all of the Q&A sessions. Lastly, we sincerely thank all the speakers for giving us new incredible insights that we believe will benefit us. And also thank you to all the participants which had been engaged actively throughout the session of international conference today. And also for the next agenda, we will have a break for 1 hour and we will directly proceed to our next agenda, which is parallel sessions. Once again, I remind all the students presenters, non-student presenters, and all the participants, we highly encourage you to attend the parallel sessions later, which is it's obligatory for all the participants to join in. And also, parallel session is part of all our conference international agenda too. So I'm Cantika Salsabila Alarsa, your moderator today, signing off. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.